A most welcome sight. For 2 months I trained the Knights of the Comet. For 2 more I skewered Kithraki bellies. And for 2 more yet, I traveled through Limbo. I never imagined we'd be standing toe-to-toe on this day, in this place. Nothing but allies, I always told myself. A necessary partnership. But in spite of every strained word, every barbed glance, seeing you brings me even more pleasure than taking a Royal Inquisitor's head. We've spilled blood, gained a foothold in the Astral, but still we need allies. And one beyond reckoning has made itself known. Zerith Minyaragith. No need to pretend. I know the word means little to you. Shraktalor is the capital of the Githzerai, an exiled people. Once kin with mine until the madness of civil war ripped out one sky into 2. Algish sent word of the rebellion to their god king Zerith Minyaragith through the cosmos. He's agreed to parley. It's fallen to me to secure an alliance. Exactly the reaction I expected. My blade is keen as ever. But it was you who showed me that a proper victory doesn't always require a razor-sharp edge. Sometimes, a sincere plea is more persuasive than a dagger against the neck. Minyaragith is an ascetic. He reached out in good faith. This is his way. It is in this spirit that I must meet him. And if he refuses, I carry on. Gravity pulls me in but one direction. I am the comet. I will not rest until I burn Vlaakith's bones to ash and smash her phylactery to pieces. My people will be free. But you've heard that refrain before. Zealous, bossy, insistent. All part and parcel of my undeniable charm. And to you, always. Now go, mingle a bit. That's the word, right? Mingle. But don't think you've seen the last of me. I'll be back. Sure as the comet will rise. Sure as Kalir will forever circle the sun. This is nice. Yes.
Do my eyes deceive me? The gang really is all here. Well, look who it is. My first and oldest friend. The last 6 months have been kind to you. A soul after my own heart. Oh, assuming you have any soul left, of course. But I am glad to see you're living life to the fullest. We deserve nothing less, you and I. Cazador's mansion has become my palace, and played host to every kind of banquet and soiree and masquerade imaginable. And of course, has seen its fair share of hedonism, clandestine deals, and the occasional disappearance. Whatever it takes to build up my influence over those who matter. I'm spinning my web. Power grows slowly, but I have nothing but time now. Rather wonderfully, actually. I've been making all sorts of new friends. They're the kind of friends that would see me burn the first chance they get. But that's all in the nature of the game, isn't it? But the important thing is I am doing wonderfully. Finally having a life that's worth living. And who knows what's next? There's an entire world out there, ready for the taking. Perhaps the next time we meet, we'll have grander conquests to toast. I did miss you, you know. There is a sense of loneliness that comes with power. We did share a wonderful adventure, you and I. A pity to see it end in some ways. But we have great new lives stretching out before us, and great new adventures to go on. I will never forget the time we spent together, though. And I know you'll never forget me. Until next time, darling. We've already had one heart-to-heart. Best to leave it at that, don't you think? I'm not sure I can manage another bout of sentimentality.
There you are.
Well, well. Look what the Tressim dragged in. Professor Gale Decarius of Blackstaff Academy. Educator of the esteemed School of Illusion. A pleasure to remake your acquaintance. I did offer, as a matter of fact. However, the Blackstaff insisted I couldn't teach every subject, nor could the simulacra of myself I offered to create for that purpose. So I've settled for teaching the art of illusion. Magic to confound the senses, to render the impossible into reality, and to allow expression of that most magical attribute of all, imagination. I fear my students find me somewhat intimidating due to my, explosive former reputation. I seem to put the fear of the gods into them. Or the fear of Mystra, to be more specific. She sought me out. Not long after, we went our separate ways, and assured me neither she nor the orb should pose me any threat in the future. Of course, it's still in there. A constant reminder of my former hubris. And a surprisingly effective means of keeping my more disobedient students in line. Perhaps a tad too effective. I spend most of my time trying to convince them how much fun the study of magic can be. But it'd be easier to crack a smile on an intellect devourer than some of my pupils. Still, I hoped my students might be a little more open to the playful side of such magic. Oh, they try their best, of course, when they can manage to stay awake.
The cheek of them! Nothing a well-placed swipe from Tara can't fix, though.
And what of you? What are you making of this newfound lease of life we earned? From you, I'd expect nothing less. I've told my students plenty of tales about our escapades. You're something of a hero to them, you know? I'd be delighted to introduce you to my current cohort as a guest lecturer, perhaps. I'm sure they'd have plenty of questions for you. Excellent. I knew you wouldn't be able to resist the allure of sharing your expertise. Of course, you'll be most welcome to stay with me in my tower. My apologies, Tara. That would be our tower. It will give us plenty of time to catch up on your adventures. I'm very curious to know what you've been up to these past months. But I suspect the telling of that tale would keep you tied to me all evening. So, in the spirit of selflessness, I encourage you to mix and mingle for now, with time enough to come.
Oh, I've seen every corner of the realms. I just know what I like.
And that's my mother's sitting room.
And the dining table, and the... Oh, right. You. Hello. Yes, I'm certain it is. As for you, well, I've heard congratulations are in order. You helped Mr. Dicarios save Baldur's Gate from the Absolute, isn't that right? That doesn't sound like him. You ought to come visit myself and Gale when you're able. If you can extract yourself from what I'm sure are very important. We'll send word by pigeon when we've need of you. I used to have... Ta-ta, darling.
You made it. Lady Shah smiles on us.
The past made present.
Lady Shah's blessings to you. Or perhaps you don't need them. You look well. Very much so. I couldn't bear to miss it. No matter how busy Lady Shah's work keeps me, her entire church prospers. The Absolute washed the Sword Coast with blood and tears. It's now a fertile ground for her message to flourish. Broken hearts, shaken faiths, refugees without homes, former cultists without purpose. They can all become the Night Singer's children, with the right nudge. You should see how they flock to us. We spread like the night sky chasing the sun below the horizon. A pity, yes. But also for the best, perhaps. It would have pained me to have you close, but not be able to dedicate myself to you in every waking moment. We would have been able to claim just enough of each other's hearts in order for it to hurt. Better to indulge ourselves fully whenever fate allows, than to live in compromise. And tonight of all nights was made for indulgence. I don't know if that's strictly true. I think I saw just about every inch of you when I last slipped away from my duties. I jest. You would think I'd be accustomed to loss. Yet, it stings all the same. Lady Shah may keep me occupied, but there's always a place in my heart and mind for you. But let's not grow maudlin. This is a celebration. Tell me what you've been doing with yourself. I won't pretend I'm not a little jealous. Lady Shah is a demanding mistress, as is her right to be. But a little calm and solitude would be a tonic. I suppose you'll be keen to do the rounds, with so many old acquaintances gathered. Do not let me hoard your time. But don't be such a stranger, either, in future. You know where to find me. I can always make some time for an old friend. One of the privileges of being in charge. Would that I could. But this is my life now. Lady Shah must come first. Always. Luckily for both of us, I'm well versed in stealth. Come here. Like a rare vintage. Bittersweet to taste so infrequently, yet always worth the wait. All-consuming. Endless decisions to make, underlings jockeying for your attention, threats from the outside, threats from the inside. There's times I miss when it was just our little group against the odds. Simplicity is a luxury that's drifted out of my reach, I'm afraid. But at least for tonight, I can have a taste of how it used to be. I shouldn't. But from time to time, yes. Holding the office she once held, standing within the shadow of Lady Shah herself, it complicates my feelings towards her. I came to see her as an adversary, an obstacle. But what recourse did she have? What did she see when she looked at me? A future in which she was discarded, where the reward for her service and sacrifice was to groom her own replacement. What transpired was the Dark Lady's will. If time rolled back, I would do the same thing all over again without hesitation. Yet, I am not without sympathy. Only if you leave me feeling lightheaded. I might have to call on you to trouble me again before the night runs its course. What? A show of sincere affection? You're lucky none of my followers are around to witness this. Come here. Let's keep that our special secret. I have a reputation to maintain.
Seems like a century ago that we were all together, but also
I should take a tour. Just to see what the rest are up to.
don't know how to explain it.
Almost a shame we didn't throw more parties, come to think of it. After felling Ketherick Thorn, perhaps, we even had an inn at our disposal, and a brewery. That's the sort of trouble I live for. I might have to call on before the night runs its course.
Gods, I must look a mess. I just rolled out from under a pesky ogre when Withers yanked me in. Oh, I didn't mean... Well, how... It's so good to see the trolls I've torn open. I don't suppose you'd indulge me. I won't lie. Losing the Eldritch blasts. So, now, the Blade of Frontiers is a ranger. That ranger's left a mountain of corpses in him. You want to hear about the Stegosaurus that bullied Candle Keep? The impossible lich. Or it did. I made camps. I raged through the night. I've missed. If I had to do it all over again. Go on. The night or waste a single drop of wine.
Perhaps I should stretch my wings again. Who knows what people are
Past
gossiping
made
about.
present. I'm glad for it.
Oh, we've already had... Perhaps I should stretch my wings again. Who knows what people are gossiping about?
New days, old friends. There's no greater joy.
Just the same old chatter. Does no one here get drunk and spill secrets?
Withers has quite a nose for fine vintages. Well, in a manner of speaking. His actual nose
All
must
my
be a
favorite
distant
people in
memory by
one
now.
place. Not to mention all my favorite wines.
I will never get tired of seeing that face.
Nice to return to familiar environs.
Withers certainly knows his wine. or resurrected an excellent sommelier. I should take a tour, just to see what the rest are up to.
Withers has quite a nose for fine vintages. Well, in a manner of speaking. His actual nose must be a distant memory by now.
A beautiful night. I wish it could last forever.
Not one juicy secret to be heard. Such a pity.
Withers has quite a nose for fine vintages.
Oh,
Well,
I
in a
simply
manner
must
of
have this
speaking.
one. It's practically
His
sanguine.
actual nose must be a distant memory by now.
The past made present. I'm glad for it. For this.
Hello again. Beautiful.
Oh, hello. Let me guess, you've got some suggestions about the music choice. Go on then. What should I play? Fine. It's your party after all.
Seems like a century ago that we were all together, but also like no time's passed at all. I don't know how to explain it. Maybe I don't need to.
thou feelst it still. She is not here, she who was the boldest. Hast thy thoughts been with brave Karlach often? She would not come. Correct. Not in planes material, elemental, nor transitive can her like be found. In but a dozen 10 days, an entire life was lived. More than mortal years. Mortal centuries were hers. Thy band, thy bond, gave that life to her. Not like thou wert her kin. It was written in her heart. Surely thou knowest that. In the fugue plane, her soul burns so bright, it pains the gods to look upon. Recall that in time all changeth and all is rejoined. Thou shalt be with her again. What indeed? Prick up thy ears and listen. The balance of the world restored. The balance of these lives, mortal and otherwise, brought to account. Hear me, thou heroes, wastrels, friends. I have waited long to tell you these words. It is over. For now. Thou played thy part in weaving the fabric of fate itself, but for every thread you sewed, so did the gods unravel another. Sleep, rest, revel, but be ready, for thou mayst yet be needed. Until we meet again, I wish thee every possible fortune, health, wealth, love, and above all, problems worth solving. To you.